Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Brendan Lester Fishing. I just got home a couple days ago from the Lake St. Clair Elite Series event. Really a great event. Had a top 10 there. First top 10 of the year in an Elite Series event. I did have a top 10 at the Classic this year, but all in all, been a little bit tougher year for me this year. You know, I had real high expectations, obviously, after finishing second in AOY last year. And it's just been a lot tougher year. You know, I hadn't really changed anything. Nothing's really been going on that's really been wrong with my system or how I'm practicing or anything like that. I just haven't really caught the brakes this year. Like at the Sabine, I had a pretty rough finish there, and I just got in an area that didn't have a lot of big fish in it, you know, and that's just one example of kind of how things have been going this year. But definitely, you know, coming into Lake St. Clair, I needed to have a really good event, you know, to kind of offset some of those not so good ones I've had. I haven't had any real like bombs this year, but I think I was in somewhere around 53, 54 in Angler of the Year going into the Lake St. Clair Elite Series event. So I definitely needed to catch some and jump up into that top 40 in Bassmaster Classic points to make that Classic bid with 3 events left. So that was definitely the goal, and to come out of there with an 8th place finish was definitely a huge deal. As of right now, we've got 2 events left: Lake Champlain, and the St. Lawrence River, which are 2 of my favorite fisheries in the whole country. And I jumped up to 38th place in AOY points. So we're back inside the Classic and back going in a good direction. I feel like things are going good again. So like I said, just feels really good to have a great event. Now let's get into the recap. This was about the 5th or 6th time I've been to Lake St. Clair, I think. And it changes. It's like any other body of water. It changes a little bit every single time you go there. I knew that. Lake St. Clair is a featureless lake, pretty much. There's a little bit of grass, and the grass is kind of the deal there once you figure out how they're relating to those grass edges and stuff. But as far as rock, contours, it's basically just a big, huge bowl. And the fish that I ended up weighing in, all of them came out of about 10 to 12 feet of water, grass edges. They weren't far from the boat ramp, and it was just a matter of going out there, putting my active target on 90 feet. I was looking 90 feet forward, and I was basically just going out through there with active target and just picking those fish off. Later on in the video, I'm going to roll some footage. I'm going to show 3 or 4 of my best fish catches from the tournament, and you'll be able to see I'm sitting there looking down at active target the entire time, and that really helped me to break down that body of water. And I saw over the 4 days of the tournament, 3 days of practice, I bet I caught over 250 smallmouth probably, and I saw every single one of them on active target before I caught it. So that was definitely one of the key players for me that week, you know. And it being late July, I knew those fish on Lake St. Clair were going to be done spawning. They were going to be out there in that 12 to say 18 foot range. You just got to find them, and when you find a group of them, most of the time they'll stay right in that general vicinity. Now every day I would expand on my water just a little bit. I'd try to, you know, go outside where I had caught them in days past, just to kind of stretch the limits on and expand my area. That way I didn't wear my fish out too bad. But let's talk about how I caught them, my setup, and then, like I said, we'll roll some footage from the actual event so you guys can see some of these big smallmouth I caught. My setup was just same as basically my setup has been for the past several years. I keep trying new hooks, new things, and this system just works. I don't lose many fish on this deal, and that's a big deal when you're smallmouth fishing. So I use my 6'10" Mustad Instinct medium light. I like that medium light. It has a much more forgiving tip. And when you get those smallmouth hook, you basically just want to let them dig until they get tired, get them up beside the boat and scoop them up. So that was what I used as far as rod. 2500 size spinning reel. I really like a high-speed spinning reel for smallmouth. That's a big key. This is a 6'2" to 1 reel. 10-pound Vicious no fade braid. That's the high vis yellow. And then I used 8-pound Vicious Pro Elite fluorocarbon leader tied with an FG knot. And I used about an 8 to a 10-foot leader. And I was basically just pitching at these fish anywhere from 40 feet from the boat all the way out to 90 feet. And 90 feet is a pretty good lob, to be honest with you. But that's what I was doing there. Let's get down to the bait. I threw a couple of different baits. This right here is actually this is the first time in this tournament that I've thrown this bait a lot on a drop shot. That's a live target, ghost tail minnow, real natural looking little bait, looks just like a little minnow. A lot of these fish were feeding on baby perch, and they were actually feeding on glass minnows some too. Size 4 Mustad Titan-X Wacky Nico hook, and I just nose hooked it. Like I said, drop shot rig, about a 16-inch drop shot leader to a 3/8 ounce Mustad tungsten drop shot weight. Now another worm that I threw off and on during this tournament was a Z-Man Finesse TRD. And as you can see, I've got it rigged a little bit different. I've actually got the hook threaded in it. That's a size 2 Mustad Titan-X Wacky Nico hook. And that's just a bait that I throw a lot, both on a Ned rig and a drop shot. Just a little bit different profile than that minnow style profile. I feel like this looked a little bit more like a goby or a little hellgrammite or something like that might be crawling on the bottom. But just wanted to swap it up a little bit there. Those were the main 2 baits that I threw pretty much the entire tournament. I did catch a few fish on a little 2.5-inch tube, but none that ever really helped me. But the majority of the time, especially the first 2 days, it was just about getting a bait in front of those smallmouth. They were active. You'd see them up high, up off the bottom. And if you got a bait within 10 feet of them, a lot of times they'd come up and grab it on the way down, and I could see it on active target. But let's roll some footage from the tournament. I'm gonna play 3 or 4 fish catches right here, and I'll catch you guys at the end. Pretty, but we got him. Good. That's a flat sucker. Yeah. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, 8th place finish. We moved up to 38th in AOY points. So we got 2 events left. I'll be leaving out actually next weekend from the time I made this video. We're going to Lake Champlain, which is my favorite lake in the whole country, and then the St. Lawrence River, where I've had a lot of success in the past as well. So I have high hopes for sure. It's going to be a fun event. We've still got, or a fun 2 events actually. We've still got a lot of work to do, a lot of smallmouth to catch, but I'm looking forward to getting up there and trying my best to finish the season on a strong note. I appreciate all the support as always. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you've been catching a bunch of them, and it'll be time to get after them crappie real soon. Y'all stay tuned. I'll see you next time right here, Brandon Lester Fishing.